Time for the tropical update. We got to talk about what's already developed, what we're tracking right now, and the fact that we could get 2 more named storms here within the next 48 hours or so. Certainly a possibility. We have a new tropical depression that will likely become Gaston over the next day or so, and there's another area with a good chance of development that becomes TD9 if that happens, and then eventually Hermine. So those are the next 2 names on the list, and we're going to take a look at what's going on right now. This is Fiona. This is our new tropical depression number 8, and we have this area of convection down here that's getting a little bit better organized and has a good chance of developing as it moves westward into the Caribbean. We'll talk about all of these as we go along here. Let's start with Fiona passing the Turks and Caicos now. Powerful hurricane. We're still looking at those maximum sustained winds around 115 miles per hour, gusts to 140. Earlier this morning, it started to make that turn more north-northwest as opposed to northwest. That's how it was moving. Now it's starting to turn a little bit more to the north, and that's a trend that will continue later today and then tonight into the next day. More of a northeasterly trajectory. So it makes that turn. Notice the strengthening. We could have a Category 4 storm in our hands as we go late Wednesday night into early Thursday. Maximum winds could reach about 140 miles per hour. It then comes pretty close to Bermuda. That little dot right there on the map showing you where Bermuda is. It should stay just out to the west of it, but it's going to put Bermuda, the center will, that's going to put Bermuda right in that right front quadrant of what should be a very large and powerful storm moving along. It will weaken a little bit as it moves over the cooler water, but folks off to the north will need to keep a close eye to that as well. It misses the U.S. eastern seaboard. You can see the models again, very much in agreement that it is going to continue moving along like this. So I think we're going to be in pretty good shape here along the coast, but I do anticipate the waves really building. And I want to show you the wave modeling so you can see how the waves build as we get into Thursday and then Friday. Look at this. We'll stop it right there around noon on Friday. You can see just offshore some of those waves really getting up to some pretty impressive heights. Now, along the coast, again, we're worried about dangerous rip currents. There might even be a little beach erosion. The really violent part of the storm will remain well to the east, but the wave heights will be building, and I think the rip current threat is going to be very, very high as we go late this week and into the early part of the weekend. Now, as for TD number 8, you can see how it kind of moves off to the north, kind of a fish storm, forecast to stall and drift back. Again, that one may become Gaston. And then we have this other area that the Hurricane Center early this morning had a 10% chance of development and that 50% chance out as we go 3 to 5 days. Well, at 11 o'clock this morning with the midday update, they decided to bump it up to 40%, the chances over the next 48 hours, and then 70% for that 3 to 5 day time period. So it's looking more and more like this thing's going to get its act together and then make a run through the Caribbean and eventually turn back into the Gulf of Mexico. Things can change, but I wanted to show you how the models play this out. You can see both the U.S. model, which you can't even see because it's under the European model here. Euro's in red, the GFS or the American model's in yellow. Both of those models agree that Fiona moves off the way it does. What I want to draw your attention to is the development here with this next system. And you can see the GFS and the Euro pretty similar. The Euro's a little bit farther to the west. The GFS makes it a little bit more powerful earlier, just south of Cuba, moves it up across western Cuba. And then you see how the Euro really blows this thing up over the eastern part of the Gulf of Mexico. The GFS is a little closer to Florida and a little farther north. With this system, potentially, we could see a landfall along the Gulf Coast and then the remnants kind of sweeping up into our area. We need rain. We've been 9.5 inches below average at Norfolk, so we desperately need some rain across parts of the area. A tropical rain can bring a lot of rain, obviously, but we don't want to have people dealing with hurricanes along the Gulf Coast. We'll have to see how things play out. A lot can change. Maybe the system doesn't develop. We'll get more information coming in. Things can change. So just know that as of midday on Tuesday, this is what the models are projecting. It's something we will be watching here at 13 News Now and working to keep you updated on. Be sure and check back with us.